Hi, welcome to Youth Camp 2020, the virtual camp. This is the rap class for the senior youth campers, and I thank you for giving a listen and taking time to just expand more on what God has to say for us. And the topic I wanted to talk about today is a commandment that God gave all of us. He told us all in His Word that we were to go out into the world and preach the gospel. So when we follow that command about God giving us the Word to preach the gospel and actually go out, what really holds us back? What keeps us from spreading God's Word? One of the biggest fears that I think that we have in our area, in our generation, is that we're afraid. We really are afraid of what man thinks of us instead of what God thinks about us. We think that we might look stupid, or we might look crazy, or will my friends talk to me again if I even mention Jesus to them, or how will other people think about me, instead of really caring about what God thinks of us. If you remember what happened with David and his brothers when they were facing Goliath. Goliath was jeering at him all this time for days and days and days, and his brothers took it for him. That jeering that Goliath gave that whole time, because they were so afraid that they might lose in front of the other people. They might not win. So they were more afraid of what the men around them thought of them than afraid of what God thought of them. Remember Goliath, when he jeered at him and he was saying, what is that God that you serve? Show us how strong your God is. That should have fired something up in them when he was attacking God. And when David heard it, that's his exact cause. That's what he even said to his brother. Is there not a cause? He was looking at Goliath saying, he is mocking our God. He's not mocking us. He's mocking God. So his fear was that he was mocking God. He was more afraid of what God would think of him if he didn't do anything than what man would do. And that made the difference in that battle. That's why David went after him with those 5 smooth stones that he picked up. He went after him because he knew he was representing his God. He was more afraid of what God would think of him than what his brothers or any soldier or king thought of him. And it made the difference. When he was making all that difference with representing God, it really did show what was in his heart. It showed that he was more afraid of God than what man can do. Now, I kind of want to take you with you into that idea about who do we fear more, man or God? When we put God's fear in us, we look at things differently. Just take for an example, if we thought the world was truly hurting, we would act differently whenever we see a hurting soul. Whenever we thought if somebody was truly going to hell, we would sure think of them differently. We would witness differently. We would witness with urgency, knowing that they needed it. Not because we thought it was best for them, but we know that we are saving them from something. Now, follow with me, just an idea. Like if someone was drowning in a pool, you might think, I don't want to look stupid jumping in this cold water. Or, what would other people think of me when I look jumping in the pool to go rescue someone? Well, how would I look? Would I look stupid? But if you really put yourself into that situation, it's a whole different thing. So now, like we were talking about in that situation, somebody's really drowning. What do? Are we going to just throw Jesus at them like we're hoping that it will save them? How stupid does that look? People can hold their breath as much as 5 minutes. I think it's time. I need to rescue them.